Good afternoon, everyone. It's Christine here, and I am going to join in Thrifty Thursday. So in Australia, our thrift stores are generally called op shops or opportunity shops. So I'm here on holidays in regional Victoria in Australia, and I've been checking out the local op shops and want to share some of my recent hauls. So on the table right in front of me is a batch of goodies that I forgot to show the other day when I did my op shop haul from Myrtleford. So I had some other laces that I'd put in another bag and just totally forgot about, as well as some beautiful little vintage sequins, beads and flowers. So I thought we'd start off with a look at those, and then we'll move on to looking at the goodies I got from the Porpunka op shop, which was just the most amazing haul that I got yesterday. So I'm super thrilled to show you what I got there. So the Myrtleford op shop just had an amazing selection of laces. I don't think they're particularly vintage laces. Some of the bits might be, but some of them look to be almost new rolls of laces. So let's start. We've got some pieces that look almost like the sort of laced up sections you get down the fronts of outfits. So it's not a particularly long piece, but it could be kind of fun to use for something. I don't think I'll use it for its actual sort of intended lace-uppy purpose, but could even make a nice little fence in our Roxy Journal of Stitchery Down the Garden Path piece. So I hope you're all having a great day. Hopefully you've had the chance to do some of your own Thrifty Thursday adventuring. Now this one's a sort of a glimmery, glistening lace with a ribbon pleated through it. So again, not a huge amount, plenty though. And I was thinking come Christmas time, I could almost do a little layered sort of Christmas tree as part of Stitchery for that. We all did the Roxy Journal of Stitchery Christmas or Winter edition last year, so who knows what I'll be doing in the lead up to Christmas this year, but I thought that was a bit of fun. Then I've got this one. I think this one is a vintage lace by the feel of it, and it's just on a piece of cardboard and just got a nice little floral design and little tassel-y bits on either side, so hopefully you can see that okay. And then a big roll of this quite wide, and there's actually a smaller piece of it as well, which might be good for looking at together. So it's got beautiful flowers and leaves on it, and quite wide. So there's a lot there, so I might have to, I think, with all of my wonderful op shoppy goodies, I might have to put together a very special giveaway, I reckon, as I approach. I'm still quite a ways off from being 1,000 subscribers, but I reckon when I get to 1,000, that will be the time that I'll do a giveaway with lots of yummy bits for sewing or junk journaling. So massive wodge of that really thick lace. And then I've got a roll that has, I'm just trying to see if it's different patterns or the same. Now this one has a little bit of stretch in it, but again, that can be good for making bands around journals, or when I slow stitch, it doesn't really matter because I'm stitching it down to the fabric anyway. So I think it's all the one design, and again, there's a lot of it, and this roll doesn't look like it's ever even been used, so it's totally brand new. Can't actually see. It's from 2008, so that doesn't make it vintage. It's definitely a newer one, but it's probably been sitting in someone's supply stocks and just not used. But I'll be using it. And then this one's got beautiful flower designs on it and little, what look almost like little hearts. Again, it's got a little bit of stretch in it, but it could even be good for making sort of textured mountains and other shapes. So again, that's a huge quantity of that lace. Got this one, which has a few different ones on it. It's got this, which could be a great garden path for those of us doing down the garden path as part of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Slow Stitch. And then it's got this one, which looks a bit more like little mountains as well, little V's. Circles, and I think they're the two laces on it, unless there's some other ones hiding underneath. And again, there's quite a decent quantity rolled on there. And then this one, I think is all the one type. And again, it could also be a great little sort of paving pattern. I think that's up the wrong way. It's a great little paving. Again, lots and lots of it. So I'll definitely have to give some of that away because I probably don't need all of that myself. But it just came on the roll, so I thought, yes, I will take that. Lace is always good. And then we've got one here that is a pinky apricot-y one. What does it have on the card? No, it doesn't have anything, just says colour Wu Tong. So it probably come from China. In fact, this one hasn't been opened either. It's got its little study sort of bits in it. So that has little flowers and leaves. Again, it's got a bit of stretch to it, but that could be useful for, yeah, putting little bands around journals or just stitching down into my slow stitch pieces. So I'll pop that back in its bag. And then I was excited to find these vintage flowers, which are again great for incorporating into my slow stitch. I don't know if these will be too bulky, but I thought I could kind of sew some of them in. So this is just a little lavender bunch that I thought was quite sweet, or even if I took parts of maybe just took the bloomy parts and maybe did my own leaves, but I quite like the effect of that. So pop that over there. Then a little bag of what look like really, really old sequins and beads. So let's just have a little look. It's got a $12 sticker on it. I definitely didn't pay that, so maybe that's what it was when someone bought it from a vintage store or something, but it's a beautiful, yeah, very, very intricately beaded. It looks like the threads are quite fragile, so I won't wriggle it around too much, but I'm thinking that would be lovely to just sort of, yeah, stitch in and secure into one of my pieces in some way. Would have even been quite good in the birdhouse piece I've been doing. Let me just give you a quick look at that. Might even have to think of a way that we could incorporate it in because it's the perfect sort of indigos and blues. Oh, I am seeing, this is just like amazing how it actually fits almost perfectly along the bottom. It's like it belongs there. Can you see that? My goodness. So I think I really do think that's going to have to just, yeah, go in on the bottom, and I'll just have to stitch it down really carefully to make sure that none of them come loose, but it's just going to look lovely. I'll just hold it up so you can have hopefully have a closer look at that. Sorry, my arms just made a funny squeaking sound on the table. So hopefully you can see that. I'll just tap the camera. Hopefully it's in focus. So that's a beautiful. So yeah, I'll move that over with my piece over there of slow stitching. What else have we got? So I've got some very small little bits of, and these are definitely very old sequins on a fabric that's almost falling apart. I would have loved to have seen the original piece that it came from. Another little piece of very old sequins. Another piece. Again, the fabric itself is almost falling apart. So I'll have to find a delicate piece where I could just incorporate these in. But I just couldn't let them go past because I could tell just even looking through the bag that they were very, very old. And I just love those little vintagey things that you find. And then there's two, which I think fold out, yep, like that. Again, very, very fragile, but it's just a beautiful little beaded embellishment. So again, I think I'll use that in my slow stitch. Hopefully that you can see that okay. The lighting's not super great in here. It doesn't get the light shining right in. So I'm going to put those back in the bag just because they are very fragile. And I'll be stitching down that other one when I finish this video because I just think it's the perfect complement for that colour scheme. I thought I was finished on that, but that just goes to show on slow stitch pieces you're never quite finished. Now I haven't opened these bags up, so I'm just as interested as you to see what's inside. Well, hopefully you're interested. If you're not, you can feel free to forward on. I do have some really beautiful doilies, embroideries, sheets, tablecloths and aprons coming up, just to give you a bit of a clue. So there's some beautiful little fabric flowers. There's so many jammed in this bag, actually. They're all, I think I'm going to have to put these a bit more carefully in something. Beautiful little pink ones. They've actually got different coloration around the outside. It's like they've been hand hand painted, and I'm just trying to work out what the leaves are. They almost feel like a paper of some sort. I've seen these on Lucello's shop in Melbourne, where I've ordered other stuff from. She has vintage flowers there, a little stamen, and then yeah, a bunch of little blooms, but they've been really squished down, so I'm going to have to flatten them out a bit. I saw Sarah in her Roxy Journal of Stitchery video from last night was using flowers. I'm not sure if they were bigger than these ones, but yeah, she'd picked some of them individually off to incorporate into her stitchery. Ouch, just banged my elbow on the table. Seem to have been banging myself on things. In one of my other videos I mentioned that I managed to whack my jaw with the car door when I was looking down into the garden here the other day. And then yesterday managed to bang my head on the dryer when I was putting some of my thrift store goodies through it, or op shop goodies through it. So some more blooms, more of them there. More, oh, here's a different one. These almost look like little, maybe orchids or something, little slightly frilled flowers and little blooms. And then some more there. Not sure what this squishy one is. I'll have to, oh, it's got a little yellowiness in the middle of it. I think it's been very, very squashed. I don't know how long they've been sitting in that bag in the op shop. There you go, beautiful little bloom. So I don't think I am going to shove those back into their bag. I'll just move them over here and I'll give them a bit of TLC when we are finished. And then I've got another bag of blooms that I haven't opened. Oops. Maybe I haven't opened them because I can't actually get into the bag now. If we take it into the bag, there we go. So these look again a little the worse for wear, but we can definitely revive them. Oh wow. So these are very old, I can tell. Again, quite fragile, but look at that, and it's the softest felt, and well, not even a felt actually, it's a sort of a furry, and then on the underside it's not furry, it's got little age spots, so it is indeed very, very old, very beautiful, just really lovely. What's that little bit there that's coming off? So I'm not sure what these would have originally been used for, whether they would have just, oh, actually it's a pin. So it's got a little, someone's hand stitched a little pin on it. So it would have been a brooch originally, or possibly maybe on a hat or something. So these definitely need a bit more TLC. So I will move those over as well. It's got, actually before I go, it's got a leaf as well made out of fabric, but it's got almost, it does almost look like a realistic leaf. It's quite amazing. But yeah, you can tell from the pin just how aged even the safety pin is. And these are little fabric stems. So very pleased with that bundle, and that was from the Myrtleford op shop, as well as all the other items that I showed that I got as part of that stash in a previous video, which I can link below, as well as my other op shop finds from up here. Today I popped back to the Bright op shop and I got a range of things, but I've just freshly washed this, and it's a lovely shirt. I actually first saw it and thought, oh yeah, I can always turn the fabric into something, as part of one of my garden pieces. The brand is Lula Life, who I haven't heard of, but just, yeah, gorgeous, beautiful, soft, little buttons down there. It's a nice long one, got this sort of almost mosaic look on it, but I just love the colours. I love my florals. So, and yeah, it's the perfect size for me. So that's going to be worn. And then only if it's not suitable for wearing will it become material. So then moving on to the other goodies that I got from the Paul Punker op shop yesterday, where I just had the most wonderful time. Such an amazing haul. I think I paid $60 for everything that you're about to see, which is amazing. And I think that included a donation, a rounding up. So it was definitely really good value. So here we've got an apron. I can't get it all in shot. It's got a nice little pocket up here. Got floral fabric, and then got blue and white lace contrasting, and then some other little lace, as well as more of the floral down the bottom. So that is super cute with a tie. So originally looked at that again for the for the fabric, but I think it's too cute to chop up, so I'll either keep it or might pop it on my Etsy. So that was one. So we'll go through the bigger items first. These have all been washed. This was a huge doona cover, or what would you call them? A cover in the United States. You don't use the word doona, I don't think. So the bedding cover, so you'd put your bedding inside it. It's like a big envelope essentially. And I just loved the blooms on it. It reminded me, and I don't know if it could be a William Morris design, but those greens and the florals and things, it just really reminded me of that. So it's got lots of different parts of the pattern on it. So as you can see there. And then the underside is this pattern. So if I decide to chop that up, at the moment it doesn't seem to have any holes, damage or stains or anything. So it could be a perfectly good doona cover or dog's bed cover or other thing for a while. But I might also chop into it because these flowers are just lovely to what we call paint with thread. So using thread to add stitches and add embellishment, and even these ones that you can see up here. So that was a super good buy. And then another doona cover or coverlet. And I just loved how soft this cotton was. It's obviously been well used, but again, no damage, holes or anything. And just loved the yellows, the greys, and the gentle greens in it. It's really beautiful. So again, for fabric, but it can be used in the meantime as well. Whenever we go to accommodation like where we're staying at the moment, we always bring covers to throw over the couches and things. One, it means that when we arrive, we've got nice clean, something really clean to sit on, because you never know who's been here before. But also with our dog, if he jumps up on the couch, then we're not leaving dog hair or any damage to the couch. So I'm always looking out for things I can use as covers. And the bonus is, if I decided I've got a little stitch project while I'm away, I can always take off a little corner and use it in my slow stitchery. But if I do end up cutting into those, again, I'm going to have way more fabric than I could possibly need. So I'll be looking to run some giveaways for subscribers and commenters on my YouTube. So a little clue that if you like anything you see today, keep an eye out, because there will be a giveaway coming when I get to 1,000 subscribers. So these are the pillowcases that go with that set. And so just a green cotton on the other side, but again, just so beautifully soft. And then got this very vintage flannel, so it's very soft, super soft and warm, and I just loved the design of the roses on this. So again, I don't know if I can chop into that one, because I know some people just absolutely love and savour these vintage pillowcases, so I'll see. It's a problem sometimes. You get beautiful things and you're like, can I really chop into that? But if no one else is going to use it, then you probably can. And then this one looks like someone's just made a very simple tablecloth out of it. Take the thread off. And it says Manor House, an exclusive design by Richard Allen, and passion repeat at 61 centimetres. So again, just a really lovely floral, I think that's a rose. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a rose, and maybe some other daisies or something in that design. And I thought it would be really good for painting with thread and using in my stitchery. And I think that one might have had some very pale staining, but I don't know if that's even washed out in the wash process. Very pleased with this next one, a brocade. And this brocade has just the sweetest little hearts, and then little flower, and then little lines, or little squares dividing each of the lines. So super lovely. Just hold that up. And so much of it, so much. So again, more than I could possibly use in my stitchery, but I couldn't resist getting it. So that's lovely. And then a piece of very retro green. But again, I thought it might be good in my garden stitchery, always looking for different tones of green. This kind of reminded me of some sort of maize setups. I don't know, who knows, we might get a prompt for a garden maze. Even that does as well. So, and someone's just hemmed around the edge of this piece. That's great. And now onto the huge stash of doilies. So let me just, and they're probably not up the right way and they're not ironed, so do excuse that. But yes, let's just take a moment to look at the wealth of doilies here. So, beautiful little one. They do need an iron to look their very best, but got just a gorgeous little pattern on it, cut work on it, and embroidery. Just lovely, lovely linen. These ones, I don't know if they are actually silk, and that probably means I should have probably hand washed them. But yeah, just intricate stitching on them that is done by hand as far as, yeah, no, it's definitely done by hand, I can just tell. Yep. So not machine done. And again, just gorgeous. But that one really probably just needs a very gentle iron. And then this one, so I'll just pick the hair off. I think I heard Corinne talking about these, calling these ones pineapples. I think these were the ones she was calling the pineapple design. But again, just in perfect condition, just washed up an absolute treat, but great to cut. Oh, actually this one does have a little fault. So again, that can be cut without, would be very easy to mend as well. But yeah, you can cut just the individual shapes out and incorporate them as part of your slow stitch. And then this one, yep, again, definitely hand sewn. It's just having a look at the back, and it's got the sort of Battenberg work around the outside. Super, oops, that's the correct way. Another hand sewn one with lovely sweet little flowers around the outside. And then the crocheting. This is similar to the one we had before. But again, yeah, definitely hand stitched. This one with the bobbles, little bobbles on the flowers. Again, I'm pretty certain, yeah, this is definitely all done by hand as well, which is just amazing. Amazing, amazing. Now these ones in the shop were very yellowed, and I think probably that's why no one had picked them up, but all they needed was a wash, and they have just come up gorgeously. And just look how delicate those little sort of star shapes are. A couple of the threads are coming out, and then just the most delicate crocheting or tatting around the edge. I don't actually know how to tell the difference between tatting and crocheting. I do need to get more educated about that. And then a little lace one with a sweet little flower and leaf design, and then lace all around the outside. And that's just a beautiful linen. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure that's a linen. Another one of these little hand-stitched ones with a ring of flowers. Very simple, but they'll be lovely to incorporate in stitchery because you can do something inside and something around the outside. And then I adore the small little one. So this one's got some little flowers and leaves stitched on it. Got this one again with those pineapple shapes, but again this piece is small enough that you could actually incorporate it whole in one of your stitchery pieces. And then this one, beautiful, got a brown edging. It has a little stain, so I will not feel afraid to chop out parts of the design, and I can keep the outer edges to use for something as well. And then even the other areas that don't have stitching on them, they can be used because it's a beautiful, beautiful linen. As I've said in my other videos, I find it much easier when something has a bit of damage. I don't feel afraid to actually cut into it and use it. Beautiful little bit of cross stitch on the corner of this one. Lovely linen. I probably better go faster because I've got so much to show you in this stash. Which way? This way. Got a little stain there, but then just got some beautiful flowers, different types of, two different types of flowers on it, and with beautiful, yeah, hand stitching on that, and then edged all the way around. So a lot of work goes into these, so I can never let them go by. I want to take them home and either love them in their current form or incorporate them in my work in a another form. So just nice, lovely stitching on these ones. This one's obviously a more modern one. In fact, it says polyester cotton. So it's a made in China one. So it's even got still the label-y bit on it. I'll take that off because I don't really need plastics in my collection. But again, great to incorporate in the stitchery. I think the polyester bit is, this inner sort of meshy bit. And then we've got one of those, another one of those hankies. Another one of the hankies here, and you can see there's still a little bit of staining, unless it was just actually no, I think what they've done here is they've actually used the outside cotton on it, possibly. Can't quite tell. And then another one of those, so there were a few of those quite stained hankies that have just come up a treat. So those ones. This one I think is a machine embroidery, but it's just a beautiful pale pink tulip design. This one has a thread trailing off it. Let me just find where that is and I might just snipperoo. This one is definitely hand stitched. You can see, and so yeah, let's actually turn it up the right way so we see the right side of it. And it's just got beautiful little hand stitched blooms on it, and then a lovely pink edging on it, so it's slightly unraveling in this bit of edging, so that could always be easily fixed, or I can cut out the individual flowers and use those. And then a sweet little square with some beautiful embroidery around there, and another one with embroidery and cut work. So these are a couple of coordinating. I think there was one earlier of this type as well. This one has beautiful hand stitched cross stitch on it. I think it's meant to be a little flower. First I was thinking it was a bee, but I don't think it's meant to be a bee. But it's got a stem, and bees don't generally have stems. Now this one I'm going to take as a C because my name's Christine, so I'll take it as a C for me. And a little butterfly, so I think I'll try and incorporate that in full in one of my pieces. This one would be another one of the machine stitched one, but again, very nice. This one, no, this one's definitely hand stitched. I can see the little hand stitches across there. And yeah, just some very intricate satin stitch to create the roses. So very small little piece, but super sweet. Another one, and this one has a few dots of staining. So again, I can just use the individual pieces, and it's got that brown crocheting around the outside as well. Beautiful, soft and crisp cotton, and then the Battenberg work around the outside. And then this one, very bright white, and again just beautiful hand stitched work around the outside. Hopefully all of that's on camera. I might just need to move it up a smidgeroo. Another gorgeous one, beautiful work. In fact, we're looking at the wrong side of it. Even more beautiful when you look at the correct side. Another large hand stitch. I think these coordinate with the ones we were looking at earlier, the little round ones that have that same design on them. So that's great. Christmas one with little bells, and I guess pine with little berries. Someone's gone over it with like a metallic thread. I think I'll take the metallic thread off, and I just like the plain white stitching. And then another, and it's got a few stains on it, so again I can use the individual pieces, but they're stitching all the way down there as well. Now this handkerchief is amazing. It's got just the most incredible little designs woven into it. So there's, I'm hoping you can see it, there's like floral banding all around and down the sides, and then there's a figure of it looks like a man on a horse and a lady with a basket possibly, or maybe with the food for the horse, or maybe handing something to the man. And then the beautiful design goes round, and it looks like it repeats on each of the corners. And again, I think this could be a silk, so yeah, probably should be washing it a bit more gently than I did. Sorry, fabrics, it's hard to tell when you get it all home. I just wanted to get it all through the wash. This one has beautiful hand stitching of a butterfly, and it looks like a bird with a, oh yeah, a bird with a little spider's nest, a spider's web. I don't love spiders, but I do love the butterfly. And this one probably is a silk as well. And again, a beautiful subtle green and just the most incredible stitching on it. I'm just having a look. Yep, definitely hand stitched as well. And that's just lovely, really gorgeous. White flowers, green, and then the inner white on that. And then it's got little stitch bits in each of the corners. Oops. And it goes on. This one just has a very simple stitch design, and yeah, it's got a little stain somewhere there. So just nice to use the fabric. All of the doilies were 50 cents or less per piece, so absolute bargain. And then this one's got some beautiful crochet or lace work on that hanky, and beautiful linen. Another one of these. Some little ones with stitching on them. A lot of stitching. It's actually quite raised where they've stitched that one, stitched those down. So there's two of those. A thicker crochet in a off-white, creamy colour. A sweet little doily, or is this one done? Is this tatting or is this crochet? I really do need to get more educated on that. Another little doily. It's just got a little loose bit in the middle. Another one with a swirly pattern on it. Another one with a more sort of bobbly raised. But again, you can use the individual, you can cut out the individual elements and use those, but it's actually, yeah, perfectly intact. Another sweet, bobbly, lacy one, crochet one. This one probably goes with those other little round ones a few ago, which have that quite raised, where the stitching almost raises the fabric off the surface, so it actually feels quite textural. Just check I'm still on camera. This one, beautiful butterflies, beautiful cut work butterflies, and then design all around, and again in perfect condition. 50 cents. I mean, how can the op shops do it for that price? I suppose if people don't buy them, and then someone like me comes in and almost clears out the entire stash. I only left a few behind because I was just so excited by everything that was there. This one again is just lovely. So it's got almost stitches across here, and then it feels quite raised where they've sewn around each of the bits of the design. This was just a piece of cut vintage lace, but couldn't resist it because you can use again different parts of it, or you can use it cutting it this way down. Would have loved an even bigger piece of that, but I won't be greedy. That was all there was. Another doily. Another doily here. Another crochet one. Again, you can cut the elements out, use the side pieces, use these little top pieces as well. Another one of the machine embroidered. This one, I'm not sure if it's meant to be like a little lid sitting over something, not sure. Thought it was sweet, and it's definitely, handmade. Someone's put that together with a little rick-rack around the gingham design. This one's beautiful. Might not be to everyone's colour scheme, but I love it. It's got a limey sort of greeny colour design on it, and it's quite big, so that's the ends of it there. Can't fit it all on camera. And just, beautiful, beautiful embroidery with quite a thick thread, like a perle. And then just a lovely, lovely design on it. So again, that doesn't have any faults in it, so don't know if oh no, I just noticed a fault. It does. It has a little run down here and a run here. So it has actually obviously been really well loved. Now you could, if you wanted to keep it, you could always move the lace at one end and sort of re-edge it, but that will also give me freedom that I could actually cut out and use some segments of it. But that's gorgeous. Again, 50 cents for that. How could they? I'm very happy though. And I gave them a donation on top. And then another, this is a round table crochet. It's a thicker sort of one. Again, I might not cut into that. I might actually use it on a round table at home. This one is a massive tablecloth, again, that I could not see any faults on when I had it hung on the line yesterday. I mean, there's the odd thread coming loose, but it is huge. Let me get to the right side of it because I think I've folded it just to show you some of the gorgeous work on it. And there's just, yeah, embroidery all over it. And it's just lovely and crisp. I'm pretty sure this is just a cotton, not a, oh, it could be a linen. It's hard to tell. I think it's a cotton. And then it's got, yeah, the beautiful crochet sort of work as part of the cut work. So it's very, very intricate. That's the underside, but I won't fold it all out because I won't possibly fit it in where the camera is. Just get that folded again. So that's a huge tablecloth. I think that was a couple of dollars, which is just crazy. And then this one's a beautiful cotton damask tablecloth with a beautiful orange and yellow and white design on that. So that's lovely and huge again. So, oh yeah, no, that's not the end. That is not the end. We have more down here. I knew I was going to forget stuff. So we've got 2 meters of fabric here for $2. And so this is a lovely cotton with a cute little floral and ribbon design. So I'll slide those over there. We have these in here. So this was all still, again, from the rubber bands, always handy, from the Polpunka op shop. So this looks to be a little sewing bag that you just sort of tie closed like that. But what appealed to me is it's got like a little measuring tape and it's all waterproof. So if you were like taking your sewing with you outdoors and just wanted to make sure nothing got wet, particularly if you've got things that, inks or other things that might run, perfect little case to take with you, and you can add a ready reference measure against it. I might even just keep it on my table when I'm stitching because it's a little ready reference for measuring. And so that was $1. I'll take that stickier stuff off so it doesn't turn more sticky. Probably didn't need to do that right now, but I'll do it while I can see it. Let's put that over there. So that's $1. And then I got some of these knitting cotton, which are great to use in your slow stitch. And then that one's a cream colour, knitting cotton again. Brand new old stock. Got a measuring tape. This one's a plasticized one, so not a cloth one. Again, handy to use, but you can also cut sections of it up and incorporate it into your slow stitch. These ones are plastic doilies, and they're great if you want to do coffee or tea dyeing of paper, because the coffee won't soak into it, and you lay these in between the layers and you create the imprints with them. So that will be fun, because I did a bit of that late last year and early into the new year as part of the Junk Journal January. So I was happy when I saw those. I'm sure people don't use them anymore as actual house doilies. It said vase doily on the packet, so maybe that's what they were used, under vases, so that if they got wet it wasn't a problem. So that's pretty cool. And then another metre of fabric for $1. So this is just a nice little brown and cream check. Again, that could be useful in our Roxy Journal of Stitchery, creating a little part of the garden. Then I got some nice little scarves. This one feels like a silk, and so either use them as a scarf or use parts of them in my slow stitching. Another sweet little scarf. This one's a cotton. And it's just got a nice little check on it. A silk from India, handmade in India. Doesn't look like it's ever been used. But a lovely design on that. So again, that can get used in my slow stitch. Even if you make like blooms or flowers out of them, because it's the silk, it's so it sort of condenses down, so you can make little blooms for the garden and use the different colours in the fabric to add the variety to your flowers. Another scarf that's never been opened. I think this is probably a synthetic just by looking at it, but it's got nice rose designs on it. So again, can incorporate those into my piece. This one, very retro. Could almost imagine my old granny wearing something like this. Got the blues and greens. What do they say? Blue and green should never be seen except on an Irish queen. I don't know if that's the exact saying. So the brand on this one looks like it's USNA, so I'll have to look that one up. See if I can date it by that. Might be a modern retro, who knows. And then one that's never been worn. So originally Rockman's, 1995. But again, I got it probably for the fabric. I mean, I could wear it in winter. But it's got a beautiful purpley, sort of purpley blacky, one of those ones that changes colour in the light. So can't go past that for 50 cents or whatever it was. Then I got some fabrics. They had a beautiful little stash of fabrics that would have been used for patchwork or sort of small stitching projects. So it's got little bits cut out of it, but there's a decent amount, not like metres and metres, but there is plenty of fabric there for me to use for my slow stitch with beautiful little pansies on it. So there's that. This one, which I think is a synthetic, but it just has some nice embroidery on it and sort of a crushed look, and I thought I could even dye that as well as part of my Roxy Journal Stitchery. Let me just bring the rest up as a pile. We've then got some lovely, it says Rose and Hubble, and it's just the sweetest little design. So I love the small floral prints because they're really great to use just parts of them in your stitchery. This one's got like lemon slices on them, I guess, by the colour, sort of more a musty colour. And this is Nancy J. Smith and Linda S. Milligan for Henry Glass & Co. So it sounds like a British brand, I think. Oops. And then lovely florals. You can tell I love the florals. So just a nice sized piece of rose on a goldy yellow piece with little bits chopped out of it, but it's got little ladybugs and flowers on it. And then this piece of green gingham, again, it's been chopped, it's got a little bit of staining on it there, but that won't be a problem. Always handy just to have those little pieces. We've got 2 pieces of this. Again, really lovely fabric. Reminds me of some of what Lucello has in their store. And then a lovely creamy brownie colour with just a beautiful little floral design on it. Piece of white with some thread hanging in it. Let me just see if I can pull some of the threads off. And it's just got like a little cream lines on it. Another small piece. So it's almost like someone's little slow stitch kit or patchworking kit, and this is just pinks, got some sort of nice banding pieces in it, and then some flowers, a green gingham of a different colour, and a tighter design, a smaller design, green with sort of almost bluey green and white circles on it. Always love a fabric with birds on it. It's almost like a toile. Very sweet. Again, not a lot of it, but just a nice portion that I can definitely use pieces this size. I'll get quite a few uses out of those. A little check, another check, and some spots. So good little pieces for the garden, for our garden stitchery. A houndstooth in green, a load of fabrics with a very small, beautiful little design of little plants within this repeating pattern. So that's sweet. And then some green flowers, green and white fabric. And then this one, last piece, I think. Yes, I think I've shown you everything now. Would have been probably an upholstery fabric, I think, by the feel of it. And it's a larger design, but again, I thought some of it could be incorporated into my journal stitchery. So I got flowers and good stems, or it could even be a base for something else. So I got 2 pieces of that. And it's got a nice, almost like it's not patchworked. Oh goodness, I can't think of the word. Nope, can't think of the word, but it's got that crisscrossy sort of raised pattern on it. I think I must be getting tired, so I think it's time to go and sit out on the deck in the sunshine here and enjoy the view. I can give you a little glimpse of the view if you'd like to see it before we finish up. Let me see if I can. No, I don't think I'll be able to give you a glimpse of the view. There we go. Maybe we can see out. No, you can't quite. There we go. Let's see if we can give you a view glimpse. We'll have to touch on it so that you can see out the window there. There you go. There's a view outside. You can probably see the spar on the deck with my shoes on it. So have a lovely day, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you've had a great Thrifty Thursday as well. Bye, everyone.